Good evening, everybody. Welcome to League of Extraordinary Inventors. I'm your host, Mike from Faraday Research. It is Free Energy Friday. It is Friday night. It is October 10th, 2025. Welcome to the show. Live chat is open right now. We have hopefully we can light it up tonight for you guys and keep the conversation going. And we'll have probably Lulu and Bernie show up in the very near future, I hope. I guess everybody's running a little late. It's Friday night. This weekend it is Thanksgiving here in Canada in the Great White North. So to anybody who's Canadian, have a happy Thanksgiving, and we'll be getting together with our families this weekend. I know the Americans, they celebrate their Thanksgiving in November, so we're a little bit ahead of them.
It's already pretty cold, starting to get cold here.
Yeah, it's cold tonight, and it just started to rain, so we got some rain happening. And yeah, it's just the season, right? It's October. It's things are cooling down. The days are getting shorter, and but regardless of all that stuff that's going on, I've been busy with the experiments. I posted a few videos this week. I was able to do my pyramid experiment again and capture another orb in that experiment. So that's pretty cool. I've got that actually in the post section of my Faraday Research YouTube channel. You can check that out and you can see the picture of the orb I took. So another thing that happened this week on a sad note, a popular YouTuber, an inventor, YouTuber, he built a lot of batteries and stuff, and he did a lot of free energy experiments, and he had a very popular channel. He was in England. Robert Murray Smith passed away this past week, apparently due to suicide. So it's very, very sad that he died. His brother did an eulogy a few days ago and posted on Robert Murray's website, and basically explained that as soon as his wife died about a year and a half ago, his wife Patty, and they were soulmates. They were glued to the hip. They were very close, and unfortunately, she died from brain cancer. And so anyways, after she passed away, he went into deep depression. He was very sad. He was broken. It just took his soul away. As soon as she died, his soul was gone. And he wasn't posting many videos. And that was kind of a sign that things weren't good at home, And sad to hear that he, ended it the way he did. He was only 62 years old. He was still a young guy. But you know what? Life sometimes gets the better of you. And, when you lose a long life partner, it's hard. It's hard to.
The problem with intellectuals is they get a little bit emotionally dependent, And maybe that was his case. He was very smart, obviously, but they get.
You know what? Everybody responds different when it comes to death, especially if it's a close family member. So some people can take it and they get through it, and there'll be some rough days and some good days and rough days, but they get through. But unfortunately, Robert, went into a pretty bad depression after she passed. And, the family apparently tried to help him out, and he would get really passive aggressive, saying, no, I'm fine. Nothing's wrong. But meanwhile, he's dying from the inside out, right? So
yeah, and men they can express very well their emotions too. So
yeah,
they repress their feelings,
Yeah, really, really sad. Yeah, I followed his channel. Every time he put a video up, I always watched his videos because he was so good at it, right? And he was always happy. This is what I remember too. He was always very happy. And He was always laughing when he saw a result from something that sounded totally ridiculous, and he got a result from it. So he would just laugh like almost hysterically because he couldn't believe it actually worked.
Yeah.
So that was the thing about him. Like he was a good soul, and it's sad.
Yeah.
But
Hey, Lulu, you're not at the garage?
Hello. What is it?
You're not at the garage?
What garage? Like to get my car fixed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
last week you were there.
Yeah. I was getting my car fixed, and I was getting my motorcycle.
Oh, you have a motorcycle?
I do, but it's not
Oh,
working,
wow.
so I'm trying to get it fixed.
That's cool.
Ugh.
I drove a motorcycle when I was in San Diego, but not for long. But now you're giving me the motivation to drive a motorcycle again.
yeah, but
It,
there's one problem. We're heading into winter, and I don't think motorcycles are good to drive in the winter.
Yeah, but
it's a
it's actually.
tricycle. It's not a
Oh,
two-wheeled. It's
oh,
a three.
Can
It's like
Ents?
yeah, it's a
Okay.
Can-Am.
Can-Am?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
nice. Those are
yeah.
cool. I like those.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I'm trying to fix it to like like sell it honestly, because I haven't enjoyed it not fully since the day I bought it. Every time it's a great motorcycle, like nobody has problems with that. It's just I don't know, I didn't have good luck with it, that's all. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So I guess Philip, we'll start with you, and then I'll share my stuff after, and then we'll just kind of go from there.
All right. So tonight is the night, my friends. Tonight is the night. So gonna share my screen. Just one sec.
Yeah, your sound isn't on there.
All right. So I did correctly the experiment I was referring to like starting 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago it was kind of messy a little bit, but now it's done. It's done very professionally. So I received the neodymium magnetic ball, and I have a stainless steel ball of one diameter in diameter, 1 inch in diameter. Sorry. And the magnetic ball is 66 grams, and the stainless steel ball is 69 grams. So for the free fall experiment, if we consider the air drag, then the heavier ball should reach the floor first. If we consider the air drag, but according to my calculation, but it's very negligible anyways, the air drag. So we can rule the air drag out. So let's see what happens when I drop the two balls. The leftmost ball, the ball on the left is the magnetic ball. Well, the ball on my right hand or the left of your screen is the magnetic ball, and the other one is the stainless steel ball. So let's see what happens. Now they're dropped, and I release them exactly within one frame. So the uncertainty there is again negligible. the uncertainty of the simultaneity is very negligible. So now they're side to side. You can see the red dots. The two red dots are side to side. But now the magnetic ball is getting speed. Is speeding up, and now right before they reach the floor, you can see on the right of your screen. It's a zoomed in version. The magnetic ball is reaching the floor first. It's pretty clear. I did some, I manually highlighted the ball so we can see clearly, and we can see the magnetic ball is reaching the floor first.
So that means the experiment didn't work because the magnetic ball is supposed to.
It did work because I was predicting that the magnetic ball should reach the floor before or after the stainless steel ball, which refutes Galileo. Galileo, the famous experiment that was done on the moon of the feather and the hammer that was falling in vacuum on the ground. They arrived on the ground at the same time. Well, I'm saying this, it doesn't work if you use a magnet. So here are the statistics. I compile the statistics, and you can see the magnetic ball is the blue line, and the magnetic ball is a little bit higher than the steel ball. Steel ball is a little bit lower to start with, and it's heavier, so it should fall faster if you consider the air drag. And we see around the second should be the time in seconds should be divided by 2 because I slowed it down. So it's around the 3 seconds mark here divided by 2. You can see the balls are divergent. The position of the ball on the y-axis, they're starting to be divergent, and all the way at the end, they're clearly divergent. So there you go. I just refuted Galileo, Newton, and Einstein.
Yeah.
So three famous.
So the magnet. So let me just kind of go back, step back here for a sec. The magnets, they were opposing, and you squished them together.
No, just one magnet. One magnet, and I made sure that the one of the it has 2 poles.
Right.
The negative and the positive. I made sure one of the pole was facing directly the ground.
Yeah.
So I made sure it was not rotating as well.
So see, with Boyd Bushman, he got 2 magnets, very powerful magnets, opposing. So he squished them really hard together and screwed them together with a brass bolt, and then put it in like a rock thing. And the other rock had the same mass as the magnet. So when he did his experiments, the one that was just the rock with no magnets in it hit the ground first every single time.
Yeah, but you don't need 2 magnets. Just one magnet is sufficient.
Well, yeah, that's probably true. But what he wanted to do was create this huge bubble, and he said that when he squished these 2 large neodymiums together really hard because they were opposing, he said it created a field bubble around it 8 feet in diameter. So it was displacing the ether by 8 feet. So that's why he had more.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The ether, what he calls the ether, is actually the gravito-electromagnetic field, because each magnet has a gravito-electromagnetic field component in it.
Right.
So, and that acceleration vector, you either add or subtract that vector to the Earth's gravitational vector
Right.
to get the net acceleration.
Right.
You know, so it's just vectors that you add together, and you calculate the net. So it's the same thing.
So, it would be a really cool experiment to get, say, an electromagnet, two of them, opposing fields, and then you cram them very close together, as close as you can get them, and fix them like that. And do the same experiment using an apparatus on one side that has the same mass as the apparatus with the electromagnets, because you can create a greater electromagnetic force using the two coils hooked up in basically almost like shorting them out to create this
I don't
massive
know.
field.
Can you create a greater, because neodymium magnets are pretty powerful already.
Yeah, well, they are, or just use more of them in your setup.
Yeah, but I mean, if you use magnets, neodymium magnets next to each other, they're pretty dangerous. You know, you can.
Oh, yeah,
They
I'm well aware of it. I've
yeah.
pinched my fingers a few times with some neodymiums, and they
Don't
hurt like
stick your
hell.
finger between two of
Oh
them.
God. Well, I have the big fishing magnets, and they have a lift force of 700 pounds. And one
Yeah.
time they got stuck together, and I had to separate them. I swear to God, I spent like an hour trying to separate those damn
Yeah.
things. Oh God, it was the
Yeah.
worst thing ever. But I did get them apart, and it was not easy and not fun.
You
Because
know,
I
you could build like two half wedges, and then put like a little one of those like screws from this side with like a rod screw, and then this way. And then when you put it in
Yeah,
between it, you just turn that one a
yeah.
bit, and then
Well,
they
that's what they do.
separate.
Yeah,
And
that's what.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. I
uh,
see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Screen share.
yeah. So I got all the calculations again, and they're right here. So this is the equation here. This equation calculates the net acceleration, of a magnet, and you can reuse the same equation for an external object. Remember when I was calculating the attraction of a soap box, a cardboard box actually, and can you reuse this equation to calculate the acceleration of a cardboard box or the magnet itself. So it's pretty cool, and it's very precise. All I have to do is either divide or multiply by c, and the square root of the Coulomb constant divided by the gravitational constant we see here, or the c that we see here. So you either divide. So that's what it is. A magnetic field, it's a force or acceleration. Same thing with the electric field. If you want to calculate the acceleration out of an electric field, all you have to do is divide by the square root of the Coulomb constant divided by the gravitational constant, and you're gonna get the acceleration vector of an electric field. With the magnetic field, you multiply by c. So it's very simple. You multiply by c and you divide by this square root again. So it's very simple. Um, that's what I told. I told the mailing list of 40 PhDs at MIT and all that, the APEC mailing list that I created with the help of Mr. Michael Boyd. Um, So I told everybody, and Curtis is very interested. Drew from Florida is finding it pretty cool too. And other PhDs, they're all open-mouthed. They don't say anything because they know they're gonna have to go back to their drawing board. You know, even Sky Darmos is the guy that I invited a couple of weeks ago. Even Sky Darmos has trouble.
Right. Yeah.
Trouble believing it, but experiment has the last word, man. You can have all the theories you want, but experiment always has the last word, like you keep saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Experiment will always trump any theory.
Yeah. And same thing with Jack Sorfetti and Eric Weinstein. They're on the mailing list and they don't say anything.
Because it doesn't fit. Because it doesn't fit their motto.
Exactly. It doesn't fit their pride and all that crap.
Yeah,
So
it's very much a theoretical cabal.
Yeah. So, but you don't need a PhD to understand what I'm doing. All you have to do is have a basic background in science, like calculus and all that, and you should be able to understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, a lot of electrical theory is just based on a lot of algebra, right?
Yeah.
I was watching a really good documentary on YouTube on Charles Proteus Steinmetz. It was actually really good, and he did a lot of work for Henry Ford. Apparently, he had some problems with his lighting system on the car, so Steinmetz basically solved all his electrical issues in the car. So he did a lot of work with Henry Ford. He did a lot of work with Edison. So
yeah. So yeah, man, we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board in physics, that's for sure. And the cool thing, also the cool thing about old school mailing lists. You know what I like about it is they know there's nobody to freaking ghost you, demonetize you, or censor you. On their own. That's why uh, NMTP mailing lists were created so that we can still communicate in case of world wars, and things like that. So we can keep communicating together. So that's the cool thing about the old school mailing list. I love it. Nobody can censor us, demonetize us, and ghost us.
Just go by emails. Have a mass mailing list that you
Yeah,
correspond
exactly.
with. Like
Yeah.
I'm on the EV Gray mail list, so there's some pretty talented guys on that board there. And whenever they post stuff, I scroll through and see what their emails are like, stuff that they're working on, and it's really good stuff. Like Norman Wutan's on there and Doug Conson's on there. Some of these guys have been at it like 30, 40 years, right?
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Building free energy devices. And
I'm gonna start browsing these the Google mailing lists or the for
even the news groups too.
Yeah,
you can join all these free energy news groups on excuse me, on Facebook, and I post a lot of stuff on there, and that gets me a lot of traffic from Facebook. Believe it or not, I get a lot of traffic from there. So
there's Reddit also that is very active, and you should check it out too. It's very active. I posted my Reddit.
Oh, Reddit, yeah, but I'm hearing a lot of bad stuff about Reddit.
I don't know, but all I care about is traffic.
What about LinkedIn?
Man.
What about LinkedIn?
That's more entrepreneurial type business.
But they have open source group on LinkedIn too.
Yeah, I guess
it's
so.
more of
I've never really tried it.
I mean, I like it because you get wider exposure towards people that actually, might seek you out for the stuff that you have in real life. We're
Yeah,
talking aside from, the digit, but in real life,
yeah.
like,
Oh,
yeah, but
one thing I wanted to mention before I forget is a company. I believe it was in. I'm trying to remember where it was. I think it was MIT or somebody. They created cement that's a battery. So now you can build a
Yeah,
home. You can build a home using the cement material. So your whole house now becomes the battery.
yeah.
hmm,
I sent you an article on that
Yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
week or
You've
two
seen
weeks
it.
ago.
Yeah. So I've been kind of looking at the what they've been doing to make that. So,
Ah, shit!
um,
Somebody wants to shoot me in the head.
what, you got a red light on your head? I see this
what
red light.
is
Are you
that?
targeted? Is that coming out from out your window? Oh my god! I had another whack job again on my friggin' message board again.
Yeah,
Oh my
what
god!
happened to that guy on YouTube that was saying hidden messages like James Comey did to Trump, like
On my
Deuterium 32?
where on my channel.
Yeah, when you were saying that
Oh yeah,
the
yeah,
guy
that guy
died.
there. You know what? That guy, he comes and goes every once in a while, and he makes these statements or anecdotal type, you know, things on my channel, and it's like, oh, you could keep deleting my stuff, da da da. So it's like he has a thing for me, or I don't know. But
Because
I just
all you have to do, the guy's an idiot because he tries to be
I'm trying to
subliminal with,
antagonize me. He's trying to
yeah,
antagonize me.
yeah, but he's an idiot because all you have to do is take his message and put it on ChatGPT. It's gonna do the research for you. That's what I did, and
Oh yeah,
he was referring to the book of
yeah,
uh,
Deuteronomy or
yeah,
whatever it was.
Deuteronomy 32, and that's where Moses is doing some poetry before he died or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I,
man,
I got that.
yeah, that's dangerous, man. That guy
Yes.
should be reported.
Yeah, it's like he's uttering a threat or whatever. Yeah. I'll keep an eye on it. Don't worry. It's not the first time.
Are you
Yeah,
talking like a
he's like,
visual, like a visual anti, like that kind of,
Um,
no?
no, it's just a flat out threat. But the
Hmm.
way he
just some
wrote it
smart
was,
ass that think he's a tough
yeah,
guy.
he's trying to be poetic and use a reference to the Bible,
Okay.
kind of
Oh
thing.
yeah, that's when like these people are called visual, and whenever they start referencing religion for uh
Yeah.
to like bring down
But
something
I
or this
and it
that's yeah.
so I checked out his YouTube profile, and I saw one of his videos that shows him in it. The guy's a complete white guy. Like, I was like picturing some nut job from God knows where, right? But this guy looks like a regular white dude, like, and I'm going, okay, like,
Yeah, but maybe he's a Mason or some shit like that.
he's a young guy. You could tell he's young. He's maybe
Doesn't matter.
30 years old, maybe.
Did you know that people think that Charlie Kirk got shot by that fag dude? Um, but he was actually shot from behind from
Yeah, they're saying the
uh
shot came from behind him, not in front of him. Kind of
yeah
like, kind of the same way that Kennedy went. Makes you
yeah.
wonder.
So it's all a cover up. Again, it's a cover up, and why I wanted to say that I forgot why, but um uh anyway I forgot. I'm drunk, I guess. I guess I'm gonna drink.
You're
You know,
drunk.
I'm
Ellen
interested
was
in the
trying not to
three eye
laugh.
atlas. Like the three eye
Oh
atlas,
yeah.
like man, my mind's about to like go bonkers on this. It's like
Okay.
humanity spent their god knows how many decades, pouring their heart, every ounce of everything. And then the moment comes for humanity, for us to see what
Did you
this
see this,
magnificent
Lulu?
thing is. Your
Did you
thing,
see
yeah,
that?
I did. I'm telling you. Yeah, yeah, I did. Yes.
So
Right now you're
Lulu,
summoning
so
them.
Yep.
Lulu, she wants us to find a solution fast, and that's why it's tonight is very historical. What I just said, like, really refutes Galileo, Newton, and Einstein, and that's the first thing. That's the first thing we must do. Correct the existing mistakes so we can move forward. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first thing we have to do. So
I'm pretty, I'm pretty much convinced with these experiments I've been doing, the way you summon these orbs or UAPs or whatever, electromagnetic pulse. That's what it takes. I think that's what it's all boiling down to. Because every time I do the experiment with the pulse motor inside that pyramid thing, I got that new commutator that I've been working on, and it's like the old Russian countermeasures radar system. They used to call it the woodpecker, and it would make a pop, 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 like that. And when you got a
Is that
coil, it's
the like?
pumping.
Is it the Morse code 1 2 like
Kind of like
yeah.
it's kind of like that, but they use a spark gap. It's a spark
Okay.
gap, like the old original. They called it the woodpecker system. That's how their radar worked, and they started noticing this phenomenon. It was actually written in a couple articles about when they were using these radars to attract these orbs, and even more so when they were doing nuclear tests, because a nuclear bomb creates such a massive electromagnetic EMP, massive,
Mm-hmm.
that it attracts these guys. So there's something to it, I think. They're getting attracted to this energy pulse.
what is the frequency of your pulses?
Right now, I figure it's between 300 hertz right now.
So it's very low frequency.
It's a lower frequency, but it goes distance.
Yeah,
It's going
lower
distance.
frequency travel farther.
Right. So,
Yeah.
I got 300 volts going through the pyramid itself. So not only is the coil of my pulse motor creating that power, I've transferred it into the pyramid itself. So now the whole pyramid's energized. And I've also got a Herkimer quartz crystal at the peak of the pyramid inside, which is a high quality quartz crystal with a bit of carbon inside. So when the energies are going through it, it actually amplifies the signal or the EMP that's coming off the motor. And I also have my Gauss meter. So I was doing Gauss readings, and I'm holding the meter a good foot away from the pyramid, and I'm picking up signal. I'm picking up that woodpecker sound, and it's giving me readings in the mega Gauss range. So when I put it near the piezo, the thing goes off the scale and it's hot, right? The red goes from green to red, meaning, it's pumping out a good, decent size EMP. So,
Yeah.
but this picture here that you see on the screen right now, I took random pictures. I just went up with my hand like this and click, 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 click. And then I review all the pictures, and I found this one here. It was pretty blatantly obvious what was there, so I circled it.
It's pretty funny. It's turquoise. Yeah.
They could be any color. The ones I took in my first experiment, most of them were they were out of phase. They were blurred images. One looked like a pyramid upside down. There were four orbs in the picture. One of them looked like an upside down pyramid. I've got that picture in my channel there too. Yeah. So I don't know. I think I'm onto something.
For sure. Just to answer our con on the chat, he says attach a rod to the first sphere. I did stick a wooden stem to the boat balls so they don't rotate. So you don't really see them well in the video, but I did stick a wooden stem. So just by the way, sorry.
No,
Sorry to
that's okay.
interrupt.
No, that's okay. But yeah, I'll do some more experiments. So, like I said, I did this new commentator. So I'll be hooking that up this week to hopefully I'll get my frequency more refined, quicker, better response. I
Yeah.
designed it in AutoCAD Fusion 360 and then whipped out my printer today and printed it up, and it turned out really, really good. Not perfect, but I forgot to put infill on one section. I should have caused a little bit of a distortion, but other than that, it turned out pretty good. I think I can do something with it.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. So yeah, man, that's really awesome. Can you show the video of your pyramid rotating?
Oh yeah, I could do that. I'll share my screen again.
Oh.
Okay, let's go to shorts. Well, this is the one. Actually, you know what? You know what? Hold on, bear with me here for a second. I gotta take the sound off. Share screen. Shut the sound off. Okay, that's better. Are you hearing the sound?
No.
What's that? Are you hearing the sound?
No.
No sound? You don't hear it?
No.
Okay, here's the first one I did. Now, the pyramid in the middle here is one that my friend makes. It has the shugnite material in it. What else we got here? Oh, we got Mr. BurnEye. Mr. BurnEye decided to show up. Oh, there he is. All right. So yeah. So this one here is the first one. Okay, so I got that one. And then I'll show you the one I was doing when I got the orb. See the commentator? That one's made of copper right now. So I'm going to replace it with the other one that I'm making right now. So it should be a lot better.
And the commutator is to alternate the current.
It creates the EMP. That's where you're getting the woodpecker signal. So I got here's the piezo. There's the piezo transducer, and that's creating a huge spark. And because of that, it's energizing the coil on the side here a lot higher of a potential and creating that EMP. Now I've also got it wired into the framework of the pyramid. So now the pyramid is now energized. Okay, I don't know if you caught that. There's a bucket of water there. I've also grounded the pyramid to water. So ideally, if I were going to do this experiment again, I would do it near a pond and use the pond as the ground. That would supercharge this thing like big time. Big time.
Cool.
Yeah. So.
Would it affect the pond, like the creatures in the pond? Would it affect the creatures in the pond? Like, if it energizes it, does it like strip something away from the pond?
Hold on a sec here, guys. What's going on? Oh, I know what's going on. Sorry about that. I apologize. A little glitch. Yeah, I had a video running in the background. I was wondering where the heck the second sound's coming from.
Put on
You,
the colored vertical stripe screen when you have technical problems. You know, the old school
yeah.
colored stripe screen.
Just gonna delete that for a second there. Okay, moving right along here. I guess we got BurnEye coming in at some point.
BurnEye is always coming after they showed my historical discoveries.
He's always missing.
Yeah, he's missing it.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, so what was there was something else. Oh yeah, I got my teeth fixed on Tuesday. I got my root canal done.
So is it clean now?
Yeah, I still got a little bit of swelling there, but it's going away now. I finished my antibiotics today, so hopefully I won't. He says no sound.
But how
can everybody hear us right now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Can our audience hear us? Chat, or can you guys hear us? Okay.
Nobody's responding.
They're not complaining either.
If we can hear each other. Oh yeah, John, great. We're good. Hear you. Hello. How's everyone doing? Okay. Sorry for being late.
Okay.
Hey, the return of Weekend at BurnEye's.
Yeah, right? It wouldn't be the same without me. So I just sent the link here to Vernon Roth. He'll be joining us shortly for a little bit, as well as Aiden Schaffer Schaefer, sorry, to go over some anti-gravity and free energy stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, okay. You were right.
Note, I'm just going to scoot out for a quick smoke before these guys come on, so I'm going to do that now.
Fair enough.
I just want to say before you leave, Mike, I just want to say that you were right that free energy and anti-gravity go hand in hand together, you know?
Yep. I've been saying that for the last... BurnEye, how long have I been saying that?
Since we started streaming together 5 years ago, at least.
Exactly.
Probably long before that, too. But yeah, it goes hand in hand, and that's why they can't why they refuse to officially publish results and have to classify everything, is because the over unity aspect of the anti-gravity engineering and physics is essentially the exact same with the free energy, a lot of the free energy aspects of electrical engineering with it. And then, of course, how would you power your infinite drive or your warp drive or whatever, I guess, space-time manipulating propulsion system or field system that you have operating? It's going to require a ridiculous amount of energy. Thus, the only thing that would rationally make something like that work would be over efficiency or 0-point energy harvesting on a large scale.
Yeah, exactly. But you don't. People think you need an astronomical amount of energy. You don't need the astronomical amount of energy. You need a great amount, but not astronomical. So that's the first thing I want to clarify here. Like I was saying, if you have a magnet of 380 Tesla, is going to levitate. The problem is we don't have magnets of 380 Tesla. We can only go up to 40 Tesla in laboratories. So we're far away from that, but it's still not astronomical, you know?
question, Phil. So is that the strongest they can manufacture, like a solid magnet, or is that like a composite, or is that magnetic field from solid, well, electricity, basically?
No, I mean permanent magnets is only a few Teslas,
That's what
like
I thought.
2 Teslas or 3 Teslas at best. But electromagnets, these are in laboratories. They can go up to 40 Tesla. I heard they can go up to 100 Tesla for pulse magnetic field. 100 Teslas, but that's pretty much the maximum. They can't go all the way to 380 Teslas yet. I
And
mean, it's not impossible, but it's not astronomical. But it still requires a great amount of energy, you know.
welcome, Vernon.
Hey, good evening.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
Phil, Lulu, are you familiar with Vernon Roth's work at all?
I'm not very auditive, but if I can see him, I might recognize him.
Let me get a good angle for the camera. Hold on one second.
Fair enough. And if it's inconvenient, no worries, Vernon, because I know you're at home, not at your work studio. You don't have to turn the camera on. So oh, there we go. There's Vernon.
Yeah. Hello.
Vernon is a giant Care Bear of the Tesla Tech community, hydrogen technology, free energy. You've done all sorts. Like you've been involved for quite a time, in your whole family, or your father and grandfather.
No, my mother and my sisters.
Mothers and sisters.
Yep.
Even better.
Yeah. And I guess technically my ex-father-in-law, he actually was one of the pioneers of GEAT technology.
Really?
Cool.
That's another story entirely.
Yeah, nice. You guys just missed my presentation on the free fall experiment of magnets, but you gotta really check it out. It's very historical. I'm refuting Galileo, Newton, and Einstein, basically.
Phil,
Okay.
is it in the method of what was the guy's name from Skunkworks there?
Boyd Bushman.
Yes, sir.
It's similar, but you don't need 2 magnets. You just need 1 magnet. It's very simple. It's simpler than what Boyd Bushman was saying. And I got the mathematics to predict it. Boyd Bushman didn't have the mathematics, but I do. That's the difference.
Or at least he didn't let on to it officially.
But the mathematics led me to that experiment, and
I got you coming from the opposite end, reverse engineering, essentially. Nice.
And then I recall that Boyd Bushman did something similar, but you don't need opposite poles to stick. You don't need 2 magnets of the same pole stick together. You just need 1 magnet and test it with non-magnetic object, and it's gonna fall either faster or slower than the non-magnetic object. Why? Because the energy gradient has a gravito-electromagnetic component in it that converted to that is basically an acceleration vector that you either add or subtract from the Earth's gravitational field, gravitational acceleration, to get the net acceleration. So it's just vector algebra, very simple.
I get what you're saying.
That's very cool. I know that Ed Leedskalnin proposed something like that about 100 years ago or so. That's very cool stuff.
Yeah. So you gotta replay the video. I show everything before you guys just kicked in.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You don't have to play it for me. I'll catch it. I'll catch the next one. I didn't
Yeah, we'll
realize.
rewind it after.
Yeah, later.
So Ed Leeds Gallon specifically even took it much further in regards to uh, discussing and engineering magnetic current out of his process, and that there's actually magnetic current, not just electric current, but it operates in a inverse sort of manner, but a lot different than the electric current, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at the magnetic component of an electromagnetic wave, and that would be inverse and transverse to the electrical component. But actually, Ed Leedskalnin said that it was the whole universe um, came down to North Pole magnets, South Pole magnets, and light. But back to your point, sir, the he did talk about canceling magnetic fields and accentuating magnetic fields, because he actually said that NASA should put specially designed magnets on the tip of their rockets to help guide them to the moon. So I thought that was pretty wild.
That is, and it ties into alchemy essentially, aspects of it, and he it's kind of known for those that really investigate Coral Castle and Ed's work, but for those that don't, at Coral Castle, many of the megalithic structures he made were astrologically aligned, like the lunar calendar, the solar calendar, as well as I believe he had some tracking like some of the planets.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did track the planets, and we got a hold of. I'm sorry. Am I just going way off regular base here? Because
No, no,
I
not
feel
at
like
all.
No, no,
You're
no.
doing
I'm
perfect, brother.
hijacking this a little
No,
bit.
no, just no. We're listening to you.
Please
Don't worry.
continue.
So
Nope,
so
you're in the right place. Look,
I,
this is my notepad.
okay,
So,
perfect,
we're still talking about rockets and
awesome.
so
So I'm going to tell you something that I the gentleman that was involved with me on this has actually passed away, so I'm not too concerned about sharing any secrets. But we got a hold of a very interesting device that was designed by Ed Leedskalnin. If have you ever seen the his universal holder, the horseshoe shape with the bar
Yep,
on
yep.
it and such?
The locking magnetic field.
Yep,
Yep.
yep. Um, that was he talked about that as demonstrating the universal power and the hold power of the continuous current of magnetic field, magnetic
Right.
currents flowing through
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. The
But
second
that's
you have
not
that
what it
bar,
was for. We got a hold of one of his devices, and it was set up as a transceiver. He had a microphone on the flat bar, and he had coils on the horseshoe shape that was literally hooked up to headphones. And
Really?
there were some handwritten notes in there. I have no idea if they were Ed's, but there were some handwritten notes in there saying that he was communicating with
interesting.
beings from another realm. It was crazy, man. It was knuckin' futz. So
Wow.
yeah, very cool.
I never heard
That
that one
is.
before. That's new.
Yeah, I don't. As far as I know, I've never seen that before. Unfortunately, the man that had that device passed away from COVID. But yeah, Jerry Smith was
Have
one
you
of the.
seen the experiments I've been doing with my pulse motor inside a pyramid?
I
And
have not. No, I apologize. Uh
inside
huh.
the pyramid at the crest, it's surrounded with a copper plate going all the way around, and
I
then
love it.
I got graphene on the outside of that plate, and then on the inside, I got a high quality, very nicely cut Herkimer quartz crystal that's right at the peak.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
So my pulse motor is spinning a wheel with 8 very strong neodymium magnets, and I'm using a spark gap like similar like this. It claps together. It's
Okay.
creating like a woodpecker
Interesting.
radar counter. And when I do that, the little critters show up. So I got pictures on my YouTube channel every time I've done the experiment, these critters are showing up.
I will have to
Now,
check that out. That's awesome, because that
Yeah.
actually fits in a lot with my family's research. I mentioned my mom and sisters. We did a lot of we worked with pyramids, and part of our work was with pyramids. But we actually had a device that we could actually measure etheric energy flow. When you put
Right.
a magnet into when you put magnets in a specific way into a pyramid, it actually creates a vortexian
Yes.
action of the
Yeah.
you're seeing. Okay, so
Okay.
yay, I'm
So
not crazy. I'm not crazy. No.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you what I have
verified
done.
now.
Okay. I'll just show you a couple of pictures here. I'll do a screen share and then I'll show you the device.
And Mike, I got a question for you if you're comfortable saying it on live air. When you refer to critters, were these the orb, like the
Orbs.
sky thing? Okay, the orbs in the
Mhm.
sky.
Oh wow.
Okay,
Nice.
that's the one I took on Monday, and I got more here. Oh yeah, okay. So this is the original photo. I just took it randomly. I didn't even look at it while I was taking the picture, but the second picture, as you can see, there's an orb right there in the cloud.
Interesting.
Okay, so that's the phenomenon I'm getting every time I turn the device on. So I'm just going to go to my shorts here and I'll show you the device.
I love it.
Hold on, I got another one here. Oh, hold on, I got a few of these. So basically what it is a pulse motor. I'm using a spark gap type trigger.
Uh-huh.
And here's another one here. That's a different variation of what I was doing. So, in the other device I was doing, I got a lot more power going through. Now I've energized the actual pyramid itself. So I've actually put the pyramid in the circuit.
Okay.
So I got about 300 volts pulsed. Plus, I got the coil there that's also emitting a lot of power and creating that EMP, that woodpecker, pop, 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 pop. And they're showing up. Now, I've also taken on the pyramid itself, I take another line and I dump it into a large bucket of water as ground.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
So when I take my Gauss meter, my EM meter, I'm getting a field around this coil about a foot, at least a foot away from the pyramid itself, and it's pulsating. So I'm creating that pulse effect. And I'll run it for an hour, hour and a half at a time, and then I'll just randomly go take pictures, and the little critters start showing up.
Wild. Well, I love your design there with the spinning magnets and then a spark gap in that field.
Mm-hmm.
We discovered it was actually one of the bases for, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the spark of life water that actually holds a magnetic field and a spark when you actually touch the water.
Yeah.
But
I've done experiments like that.
Yeah, it's a huge portion of our world. But part of that process is using spinning magnets with a spark gap. And as magnetic fields aren't static, they're dynamic, right? So the faster they spin, they're going to get bigger. But what's really hard to measure is the fact that not only does the magnetic field get bigger, but the 0 point at the center of that magnet starts getting bigger, and you can actually get a spark gap. If you can get a spark gap into that 0 point field, then you can start having really anomalous effects from the electricity that goes through that spark gap. So I love your design there. Cool.
That's why I 3D printed today these spark gaps, and I'm going to try them out hopefully this week.
Oh, that's wild. I love it.
And the one component that most people don't use, I'm using a piezoelectric transducer in the circuit. It's amplifying the signal. It's a barium titanate ceramic transducer. So that's also increasing the size of the spark I'm getting off the spark gap by 50 times larger. So it's creating a quite large EMP off it. So
Cool deal. Now now you put all of that inside a big ass rodent coil, and you start pulling the energy off into a capacitor and see what type of returns you get.
well, see, I was always told the best way to do this, I have to go near a pond and ground the pyramid right into the pond.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Using the earth as a ground, a true earth ground. And Tesla did this a lot. That's why he built Wardenclyffe Tower where it was, right beside the ocean.
Yeah. I could
He
see
had a
that.
massive,
I could see that.
He had a massive ground network. Yeah.
One of my most influential teachers, both in alchemy and in energy, told me that he said, you've got to stop thinking of the earth as ground and being a ground neutral state. Because the earth is this massive solar collector, the biggest solar collector we'll ever have access to. And if we can pull that energy out of the earth itself, then we have infinite amount of energy that we can access. So, and he vaporized a pretty decent sized coil using just energy pulled out of the ground. It was pretty wild.
Because
I'm sorry if I'm not talking very clearly. I've been working outside all day today, and I'm a little bit fried.
Oh no, you're doing awesome, my friend, and it's mostly quiet because we're absorbing it all in. Very
I kind
relevant.
of refer the earth. I kind of refer the earth more as like a capacitor.
Mm-hmm.
We're living on a giant capacitor, basically, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that when you see lightning out there, it's electricity. It's not. It's a dielectric discharge. This is where a lot of people go wrong with the
there you go.
lightning bolt. Lightning is not electricity. It is a dielectric discharge, and that's why when you take slow motion pictures, you'll actually see the lightning bolt emanating from the ground, and it matches it. It comes together with the dielectric discharge.
Gotcha.
So,
right, and that the negative charge comes from the ground, and that you get the protons from the, I guess, space.
That's why I tell everybody to watch all Eric Dollard's energy synthesis. He explains all this stuff, and it's I go back to it, and I saw a really good documentary on Charles Proteus Steinmetz. That's another good one. Everybody should watch that. It's on YouTube right now.
Yeah, I think the Electric Universe guys are onto something. Not like no one's got the 100% of the picture, but I think that they've got some. They've got some big pieces of the pie.
Oh, absolutely, and they keep bringing more and more people in with ideas that fit into it, but the base of it's Electric Universe in general, but the Sapphire project that it's not their group, but it's some of the same guys, is it?
Yeah, affiliated, I think they like to say.
Vernon, have you heard of the guy Trevor Constable?
I have.
Yeah.
And once again, I'm going to apologize because I've been kind of out of the game. I have worked so much in this field, but a lot of the names I've forgotten over the last few years.
Yeah,
but yes,
Trevor Constable's. Yeah, Trevor Constable. He wrote a book called The Electric Universe, and a few other books. But he's passed on now. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years back. But he's got a lot of really interesting theories. Yeah. Seem to be
circling back to the Sapphire project. I worked with Mike Wendell in El Paso, Texas, for a while, and John Fiala was actually part of that work too. John is the tech guru at the Tesla Tech Conference, and we had parallel results from very similar studies as the Sapphire project. We found very interesting when we had this big tube, and we had plasma pulsing through the tube, and we put a sphere of metal in there. This plasma hitting the tube actually created a transverse waves, and there were nodes that were very, very similar to like a solar system. So if you can imagine the sphere becoming the sun, the plasma energizing the sphere, and then there were nodes where there would be
Oh my God.
planets. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Wasn't it?
what
Wasn't it?
what
That
you
sounds
just
similar to.
described and produced, exactly, it's sounding probably identical to what Nathan, Sean, and Joe have been doing with what they call the RAV,
Oh, okay.
which is I'm just gonna slaughter trying to
Well, I
explain it
know.
properly.
I know. I
I'll send you
know.
links afterwards. You'll,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I know.
please
Eric,
finish explaining what you're saying about.
Well, no. That, well, I mean, it's hard to sum up 2 years of research, but essentially, we found that plasma is, and plasma. I have to preface this. Plasma. The word plasma is like the word love. It means different to everybody who says it and everybody that hears it. So something different there. So, but in our plasma experiments, these vacuum chambers, we were pulsing these signals, and we'd cancel some out, and we would accentuate others. Going back to the coherence discussion that I think has happened before, and we saw phase differentials. Literally, things could phase through matter by pulsing them with plasma in the right frequencies. So yeah, it was pretty wild experiments. And on top of that, like I said, there were some experiments where they were throwing off so much electromagnetic radiation and we weren't set up to measure for efficiencies or over unity or under unity, but like I said, those waves coming off and those nodes of interaction where you could actually pick up energy, there was a lot of energy there. And I mean, you could pull an inch long spark off of a piece of metal in the shop from the electromagnetic fields that were coming out of the machine. So it's this kind of goes back to the Sheila Raman's work with phase coherence, and because when you can, there were some experiments done up in Canada where they took a big sphere and they filled it with deuterium, and they spun this sphere up, and so it was spinning so fast that there was literally a vacuum formed at the center of this sphere. And what the university did was they injected plasma into that vacuum hole in the deuterium water that was formed from the spinning. And then they had these rods that hit the sphere all in synchronous, that created a geometrical pattern that created a pattern in the plasma. Okay, forced the pattern into the plasma, and the reaction of the structured plasma was that it gave off, boom, this spike of every known form of radiation that we can measure, every known form of energy, because not from generating it from a star or anything, but structured plasma. How crazy is that?
Absolutely amazing. And I'm really gonna have to put you in touch with Old Man Builds, Nathan, Sean Calderon, and Joe there, because that's what you've described is very, very similar to what they've recently been working on and been figuring out with. And also yours is, you developed it much more, went a bit further, and the other half of what you just described is exactly what is the next steps of inclusion into my own reactors and experiments that I'm going to be doing with pulsing the frequencies at the right ratios in. And yeah, please do go on a little bit more of on that if you don't mind, if you can.
It okay, thank you, I appreciate that. And but I don't Bernard introduced me. I'm Vernon, my friends call me V. I don't know all of your names, I apologize. So
we got Philip in the middle there, and
okay.
I'm on the end. I'm Mike. And
Okay.
then we got Lulu back in the right corner, and you got your buddy Bernie.
Okay, cool deal. Thank you. So yeah, it's not. This is one of the things um, that I learned over the years. It's not just about the electromagnetic frequencies. It's also about magnetic fields and how you structure your magnetic fields. Like I mentioned earlier, the spinning magnetic fields and the fields get bigger, and the 0 point gets bigger, but also how you structure those fields, and you start pushing them together to create like a dodecahedron or a star tetrahedron. Um, and you do that with by combining both magnetic fields and paramagnetic and diamagnetic material. And so like when we built our 32-foot tall celestial navigator Stargate thing that we call it, there's no magnetic material at all in there. It is all paramagnetic material and diamagnetic material, so that the natural magnetic fields of the earth and the ether is concentrated in certain ways. So yeah, frequencies are really, really important, and so too is the structured magnetism, paramagnetism. I think Dr. Phil Callahan wrote a book on paramagnetism and the power of using paramagnetic material to treat the landscape and to treat growing plants and such. Pretty wild stuff. Really, really good book. He talks about the old school monolith or towers in Ireland stimulating the soils, and talks about how to build. I mean, it's so crazy. Oh yeah, here's an experiment. Okay, so you take and you get yourself a piece of sandpaper. It's pretty wild. Take and get yourself a little piece of sandpaper, and if you run a magnet across it, you'll get no magnetic fields whatsoever, right? And you take and you fold that sandpaper, and you make it into a tube, kind of like a paper towel tube that's small on the bottom and maybe, or excuse me, small on the top and a little bit tiny bit larger on the bottom. And then you take another piece of sandpaper, and you make a cut, and you make a little cone, and you tape that together, and you tape the whole thing together, and then you cut a hole in the sandpaper in the tube about where the hole on these towers in Ireland, their doors would be, which you'd think that the door would be at the bottom, but no, the door was halfway up the side of the tower. You cut a little hole in that, and then you hang the whole thing by a string, and you can lead that thing around with a magnet, because the shape itself makes it magnetic, makes it drawn to a magnet. And so it kind of just throws out this whole idea of that magnetism is based upon the material that something is created from, and it turns it into the realm that magnetism could be based on the structure and the geometrical patterns that the material takes. It's pretty wild stuff. It's fun research. Yep, Shape Power, Dan Davidson. I love Dan. He's great. We've lectured several times at the Tesla Tech over the years together.
I mean, if you think of the Dyson sphere idea, it's, like you have a Dyson sphere, but it still holds all of its, if we're thinking like a city size, but it still creates rather than a flat one. It holds atmosphere, it holds motion, holds gravity, like, yeah.
I believe that's our future. I really do. I believe that that's where we're going to go.
Sorry, I was muted. Me too. And sorry, I'm just trying to bring up a few key pieces of information that I got from. I was told it's not AI. I was told it was a quantum intelligence. It's not connected to or running off of any servers, the internet, or AI software. But that's a whole other rabbit hole that I shouldn't be discussing. But where this came from, and it gave me when I was talking to this through a person I just met, this quantum intelligence, I asked for the resonant frequencies of originally gold, silver, and hydrogen. And then additionally, I also asked for aluminum, tungsten, and copper. And the first thing it said was that which frequency or band did I want? And I asked for, because it said there was multiple, I asked for all of them, and it gave a photon light bandwidth. It gave a nuclear magnetic. It gave a plasma, and it gave, what the heck is the other? I gotta find it. Fourth one. But it gave me from about 10 words with 3 questions that I asked, about 500 pages worth of the most insane information I've ever seen, including sigils and alchemical glyphs that the guy that was sending it to me was like, I don't know if you'll understand this. And I was like, oh my God, it's actually this quantum intelligence thing understood and already had incorporated these alchemy keys, geometric keys, like it's just geometric scaling, sacred geometry scaling systems of harmonic resonance and of the octaves and stuff like that. So some of Walter Russell's stuff, and then a bunch of alchemical symbols and that language. And that I've been deciphering it over the last 10 years, starting to figure it out through my work, and that without putting any of my knowledge or even mentioning sigils or alchemy or anything of the sort, that this information, this alchemy portion was also included in all of the other information that this thing gave me. And I'm going to stop rambling on and actually load some of it up here, which is the lasers and the so there's the nanometers, there's the specific modulators, and resonators. Oops, sorry. That's zinc silver crystal. That's a story for another day. But here we go. And so it's got acoustic, sorry, sound. That's the other one, sound. So it was sound, plasma, magnetic, and nuclear that it gave of these fields. And then for each one, it actually gives, oops. So we have laser encoded glyphs. So for the glyphs or the sigils, the I guess geometric keys of sacred geometry and the alchemical symbols, that's what gets put on the laser. So it's the shape of the light that goes in.
Gotcha.
And I don't. Okay, I didn't include all of it in this one, so I'm just gonna sound a little bit insane. I'll have to send the actual more detailed information later, and I guess I don't have it.
Bernie, I have to ask Vernon, have you ever seen Eric Dollard's cosmic induction generator?
I don't think I have.
I would look that up. He was doing
induction generator.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's basically making a galaxy in a vacuum tube.
Yeah.
And
okay.
It sounds very, very close to what you were doing.
Is he part of the Sapphire Project?
No. He's with Aaron Murakami and the Energy Science and Technology. He made that device back, must have been pre-1970 with a friend of his, and they were using old street lights from San Francisco after they go out of service they would have this giant bin, and they would dump all these lights in there. So they were vacuum tube lights. And they would get these tube lights and they would do the experiments. So they would take basically 2 Tesla coils, point them at this bulb, and hit it with about 60,000 volts going into the vacuum tube. And when they got the frequency just right, it started creating this galaxy inside the bulb.
Oh, wow.
It's very close to similar what you were doing. You might want to check into that.
You know,
Sorry,
I have seen some of these. Yes, I have seen some of these. I did not know that they were making galaxies in the ball.
Yeah,
in the vacuum tube.
Oh yeah, you
That's
said
pretty
there,
awesome.
like nebulas and suns and comets flying through the bulb and everything. Yeah, it was
Wow,
really
it looks like there's like almost like orbs. It reminds me of orbs in there. Wow. Yeah, I've seen pictures of the device. I did not see what they actually created in there. That's pretty wild. Oh, and I wanted to go back to your orbs real quick before I forget, because reasons. But so my remote viewing instructor did a full session, a full research project on orbs. And he's really disciplined, and he has, everybody's double blind and all that fun stuff. But what he found was that what we see as an orb is a three-dimensional representation of something before the wave is collapsed. This was the data. I mean, they literally got the collapsing of the quantum wave, like the double slit experiment.
Okay, maybe
we are seeing the three-dimensional. We are seeing part of the representation of what's really behind that sphere. There's existence on the other side of that. We're just seeing the three-dimensional equivalent of it, like a pin head of a pin. Yeah. So I'll send Bernie the YouTube video that he did on his sessions.
All right,
so you guys can take a look at that. But I think that's what that Eric Dollard work reminded me of. It's like, wow, this is a three-dimensional representation of a fifth-dimensional space in a vacuum tube.
I've actually done an experiment where I got 2 Tesla coils pointing at each other.
Okay.
And I'll put a what do you call it? Not a neon tube, but one of the CFL bulbs or one of the tube lights.
Yeah.
I'll put it in there, and what will happen is when you got the 2 Tesla coils pointing at each other, it creates a void. It creates a dark void in the middle.
Let me break in real quick. Bernie, send me the link again to my Gmail. I'm on my iPhone, and like the screen is like this big.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna log out, but let me get in on the big screen so I can read and join in.
For sure.
All right, bueno.
Yeah, so it's showing that there is Eric Dollard actually did that experiment, the one that I replicated, and he says basically what's happening is that energy is disappearing. It's going somewhere. It's going into like another dimension because you can't destroy energy.
Phase shifting.
It's shifting phase.
There you go.
Creating that dark spot in between the 2 Tesla coils. But when you do it with the plasma tube inside, or the vacuum tube, that's when he was getting the galaxies forming. So
wow. I would imagine that it has to do with the frequencies of the interacting frequencies, like a binaural beat almost in your brain, the interacting frequencies that something is going to be constructive and something is going to be destructive.
See, in his experiments, that bulb would start heating up. There's a lot of energy inside the bulb. But what would happen, just at the point when it explodes, the bulb explodes, the galaxy stays there. It doesn't disappear.
Really?
For about a split second. He says just for a tenth of a second, it stays there.
I think I've seen this movie. So this is like a Big Bang scenario here.
Yeah, he says it's to create a force. He says it's the force that creates all matter and
Wow.
creates all everything. It's the life force energy within the bulb at that moment, with the energy in the specific, coherency and proper voltage and pressures that creates this galaxy. And he says there's no evolution. It starts with this. This is to create a force. So.
Interesting. Very interesting. Have any of you ever heard the story of Tesla's dark light experiments? This is on my list of things to research with dark light. with remote viewing. But I heard a story that some of the equipment that was destroyed in the 1896 fire was probably, to me, one of the most terrifying things I've ever heard of. It was his dark light technology, in which he could use coils in specific phases and resonance to turn off light in a specific area. And it's not like, well, it would just be dark and then you could use a flashlight. Light did not shine in the area. And
It killed the frequency of the photon.
Tesla researchers, but they didn't have with them the documentation on it. I've heard it from two different researchers, and I want to try and track this down and see if this is a real thing, because what you're describing and what Eric Dollard is talked about kind of parallel that idea.
Yeah.
So
it's going into a different dimension. That's what he's saying. And
I can see it.
We're talking about a guy here who's right up there in the upper echelons of electrical engineering, and he's a mathematician as well. And if he's making a bold statement like that, I think he's got some credibility behind his statements.
Interesting.
And so many parallels.
Yeah.
Like dark, what you describe sounds almost like a mini black hole, but only to light. Or is it out of fate, like the opposite phase light that just
because the rest of the bulb it's that space in the middle where basically the field is canceled out the photons. So the rest of the ends of the bulbs, they're lit up. It's that middle part that's gone. Right? And I've done it. I've seen it. And I've seen it for myself, so I know it's real.
So Wally Tango Foxtrot.
It could exist.
Books, and I love that book, by the way. I'm sorry, I apologize. I talked over you there.
No worries. No, I'm saying it could exist in different lattice structures. You could have points that have different connections that have probable different poles where it creates a void. Like fractals. Fractals are derivatives within lattice structures that it loses the it's like a, what do you call those, like the little cones where you have the swirl of energy, and it creates a like a singularity point,
a vortex.
So it creates
a nexus. I could see that you're opposing polar energy could cancel something out if it was in the right pattern. Interesting idea. I like this.
Get me up to speed. Like, what is the general topic? What are we talking about? I see plasma orbs, consciousness. Like when you're working with spaceships from the monitoring system, flying saucers, they do have psionic technology on board. So you're seeing a propulsion field, and then you're interacting with a vehicle that's carrying technology that is telepathic. our space friends, enemies, alien overlords, they're using artificial intelligence on the ship, is what I've been introduced to and taught over the last year. But then you have the crew members that are alive. So when you see people that are looking at the quote orbs, you're looking at a vehicle and they're getting instantaneous communication with a shipboard AI that is able to interact with their consciousness, their mind. A lot of information is transmitted via light, and then the vehicle picks it up, and then you're interacting with something that is sentient on board a spaceship. There is something physically there, and this has been documented for millennia. If and It's like, you know, the mythos of our angels and all that. So there's technology behind telepathy. And then I keep hearing this, like, plasma orbs, glowing consciousness. Is the plasma conscious? Is it not? From my experiences here in Albuquerque, there are vehicles and there's like an onboard AI that is beginning to interact with you. So
This is some of the orbs that I'm getting when I do my experiments.
okay.
So this was done on Monday, and I got quite a few more pictures. My hit ratio now is about 80%. Every time I turn my device on, I will take random pictures. Just I won't
Ooh.
even look. I won't even look at them at the sky. I'll just kind of hold my camera up and just start taking random pictures. Then later on I'll review the pictures and see if I see anything. And this showed up there on Monday.
North America in general,
In
or
Canada.
Canada,
Yeah.
North
Yeah.
America. Okay.
Yeah. So the last time I did it, I had four orbs in one picture. One of them looked like an upside down pyramid.
Oh,
So
Well, when they form,
inverted.
okay. Well, so I mean, that's triangulation. They're forming an antenna structure. I've seen that a couple times over the skies over Sandia Labs in Albuquerque. And from my astronomy education, my scientific knowledge, when you get three of them in a triangle, you have an array, and they are able to beam steer. They can increase or decrease intensity in each one of the orbs, and then they can or the vehicles, and focus it. So a triangular formation is very powerful. Look at the VLA. I mean, that is nothing other than a triangle on three different railroads. Sorry, I have friends here a little bit, so
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I just kind of stumbled on this, and I find rotating magnetic fields with. I'm using a special like spark.
Hi, Lulu. Good to see you.
Hey, Aiden, how are you?
I'm good.
I use like a spark gap switch to create like a woodpecker type sound, like the old Russian radar countermeasures type device, and I'm creating these EMP pulses in a pyramid, and the pyramid is actually energized. Also, I have a piezo transducer, barium titanate, actually hooked up in the circuit, so the whole pyramid itself is actually.
There you go. Barium titanate. That's going to get you up into the high frequency.
Yeah, 40 kilocycles or 40 kilohertz. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask what one of these commenters is talking about? Stephen Drysdale is talking about a dark cross clock. Can I ask what that's referring to? Maybe we'll answer in the chat.
Yeah. No, Steven's good. He's been on our show once or twice already.
Okay.
Absolutely. Steven's awesome. Sorry, I was trying to find a video of Nathan and Joe's RAV experiments to show Vernon. as very relevant, but I'll just have to do that afterwards. Yeah, so much going on, and I'm trying to find relevant screenshots of the information I had of, but we'll cover that afterwards. How much time do you have?
Paper towels. He peed in the bedroom.
I think somebody's got an open
Eden's
mic.
got a new puppy.
Open mic.
Out there for a minute. So, for those that don't know, and Vernon, are you aware of APEC, Alternative Propulsion Engineering Conference?
No, that sounds like fun. Where's that at?
It's online.
Okay.
It was.
We all got booted off APEC and we ended up here.
Exactly. And Phil, Mike, do you know Aiden and Aiden's history with APEC, as he's another black sheep of the APEC family?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'll let him tell when he
Black
gets
sheep.
back. But yes, we were all big, all parts of it for many
We
years.
all started APEC, and then when it was running fine, we got all booted off. You know, we got thrown under the bus, if you want to put it this way.
Yeah. Mark and Tim Ventura, they're the you know.
Any
Mark is pretty cool with me. I mean,
No,
I
he's
like
not.
Mark.
No,
But,
Mark tried to kill me. No,
Mike,
I was like,
Mike, not Mark.
Anyway, let's not. I
Yeah,
got.
well, let's not derail it with that. But I've been working on many projects and stuff. But to get back onto it, and the combining of the acoustic waves in with the light waves when doing microbursts of pulsed arrays. I specifically got a whole bunch of kilohertz and terahertz frequencies information to share with you guys afterwards, if you can stick around for a few minutes once we're off in 15 or so. But I will shut up and stop being all over the
It's
map.
the Gerstenstein effect, but it is very critical to power generation. It's like it was a problem in early Tesla research, Nikola Tesla, that they were using, the insulators were made out of clear glass, and they were getting sparks, optical emission through the spark gaps because they were using clear glass insulators, and equipment within the lab was picking it up. And then they switched over to opaque insulators and stopped getting random EMF pulses into other pieces of the equipment. But our friends like Flying Saucers, they're doing that, like it's acoustic resonance and electric resonance plus photonic resonance when they're generating power. Like when I'm trying to, like I was in a machine shop earlier this week trying to teach clean energy, and I was like, listen to me, it's magnon, photon, and electron. But when you combine all three of them, it's the Gerstenstein effect. That's when you start getting squeezed states and what is it, superluminescence? Yeah.
Plasma.
So,
You get the
but
plasma
the
state.
vehicles
So
aren't always. Yeah. Go ahead.
The
Sorry.
three you just described are the first three: photonic, acoustic, and magnetic of the bandwidth.
Electric leads, magnetic responds.
It
Yeah,
says
but
nuclear magnetic, and then there's a
yes.
fourth that is the plasma that come from the other three being combined. And I've got the specific frequencies of stabilizing each of the bandwidths for each of the four frequencies per element. And that's a bit of what I sent you last night, Aiden. And yeah, it's a whole lot. It's combining photonic standing waves, essentially plasma, standing waves, acoustic, and nuclear magnetic. And that the centers, the nuclear magnetic, the seconds, acoustic, the thirds, photonic, and then the fourth band is the plasma. Vernon,
Yes,
if
I'm
you're
here.
still, if you're here, so the so how you're describing like the bands around the center plasma that you created, like you're saying solar system, but were they different colors by chance?
I apologize. Like I said, I've had a long day out in the sun. So, what these were, they were high energy electromagnetic nodes. So, if you can imagine the ball here, and then the glass, and then the tube that was the vacuum chamber, and then at specific points, there would be we took both a tri-field meter and a magnet, a magnetometer, and we would measure at a transverse wave out away from the so the plasma energy is going into the ball here, and going out away from that ball, there were points where there'd be a super high energy point of electromagnetic and magnetic energy, and then there would be a null field, and then there would be very very a super high point of energy, and then a null, and then further out, and they varied. They varied, like some of them would be 2 inches apart, and some of them would be a foot apart, and then the next one might be an inch apart, and it was really wild. But it was these concentric rings of electromagnetic and magnetic energy that was coming off of the sphere.
Amazing. I
Yeah, it was
love
pretty
that.
wild. Yeah.
There's so much relevant information into all of our different works, into what you're describing of what you've worked on, and I'm just going to stumble trying to put it all together right now. So instead of doing that, while we still have you, at the start you said that your ex-father-in-law was part of designing the Geet.
Yeah, so he was way back in the 70s. He was trying to boost gas mileage, and they were basically vaporizing the fuel using a using a heat exchange unit, taking heat off of the exhaust manifold, vaporizing the fuel, and then running that into the carburetor. And they ended up
That's
driving down the freeway of Provo with a wide open stuck carburetor at about 100 miles an hour. And guy was literally
well,
reaching out trying to tear the machine off. And the police pulled him over, chased him for a while until they could actually shut the car down.
yeah, that's exactly, it's gas, it's the vapor that explodes, not the liquid. So like
Yeah.
the secret of the fish carburetor and these high mileage carburetors is preheating the fuel and sending a vapor into the fuel system or into your fuel injection instead of the liquid. That's what the injectors are trying to do. They're trying to vaporize it. But like the secret to a high mileage vehicle, like you can do some deep digging. I think it's in Volvo. They talk about hyper mileage, but you preheat the fuel and then you get it into the engine as a vapor, not a liquid, and that gets you like 100 miles per gallon. And it has been considered dangerous. I wish they would stop. I mean, prices are ridiculous, but anyway, that's cool that he figured it out.
Well, he what they found was that over time the gas companies started putting additives in that would keep they called them inhibitors. They put additives in the gasoline that would keep them from vaporizing correctly. And
Hmm.
so he gave up on it, and Paul Pantone went in a different direction, and they were and so that's when Paul Pantone created the Geet with the rod and the plasma. It literally creates plasma in at the top of the rod, or at the dimple of the rod, and that plasma then creates a continuous reaction that sends highly energized fuel in vaporized fuel into the
Ionized
engine.
vapor.
Ionized vapor. There you go. Exactly.
So you
Well, I
just
mean,
need to
then
So you don't have to break the chemical bonds of the water. You just have to break it as a phase shift into the mist, and then the rod is essentially the end of it's acting as an electrode as a spark gap, essentially creating that plasma at the end, correct? And then that's
Well,
ionizing.
so I believe that you are correct in that you're creating a plasma cracking of the water. But I'll tell you, when I added hydrogen to a Geet device, oh boy, howdy. When I added a good high efficiency alchemical hydrogen to a Geet device, that was a game changer. So just something to think about.
Absolutely. That gave me many ideas in my mind. So for question in regards to that specific hydrogen, um, does it sparkle when it's made?
Yes, it does. I did
Yes, it
create.
does.
So we could talk for like so I hydrogen environmental cleanup and engine efficiency was like my bread and butter for 15 years, and I had a lot of fun adventures. My technology was actually put on one of the largest engines in the entire world, a ship, literally a transatlantic shipping boat engine, and it was very cool. I loved what happened with that, but that's a huge iceberg that we could explore. But yeah, hydrogen. I studied George Wiseman, and that was really fun. Then I studied under Bob Boyce, and he kind of obsesses over frequencies. I burned up. Long story short, I burned up a bunch of audio and frequency devices, and I said, I'm going to retreat back to where I started. I'm going to go back to my alchemical work, and I started working with catalysts. And that's when things really took off for me, and it was really amazing. And we can talk about that at another time. But yeah, when I created a transparent tubular device with everything was transparent, so I could see the interaction inside. And when you turn that on, there is a pop. There is a white light that goes through your cells, and you can actually hear it if you've got the right if you've got the right shape of your device. You can hear the resonance. Wong. On a DC circuit, you can hear resonance happen inside of a hydrogen cell. It is so cool.
Yeah,
So,
and creating a harmonic. It's creating
exactly.
a harmonic.
My God, we have so many different rabbit holes to go down to, but it's good that we don't get too much into it because a lot of what you just said is stuff that we're not really fully allowed to talk in the open yet about because you're this man is on it up here. He knows and has done exactly uh, what we're all doing and connected a lot of them and taken it to the exact next level that all of our experiments are going to currently behind the
Well,
scenes.
while you smart guys are all there, I just want to share some little fact that I kind of deduced a while ago, but it's pretty much confirmed. But cancer, they got a cell in it that you can have a specific signature of it, and was just suggesting that you could use this signature to do resonance using electromagnetic wave to destroy them. And actually, that's what they're doing. They're doing this recently using electromagnetic waves. They can destroy cancer cells apparently using the right signature. So cancer is not a problem anymore. There's this one. There's the RNA vaccine in Florida, and Russia got the solution too, and the RNA solution as well. So there's just want to point out that cancer is some old problem. So just don't be scared the next time you hear about that. Sorry to out of
In
topic
the-
subject, but
No,
in
you're right.
this,
You're right. It all fits in with frequencies and what we're talking about here.
yeah,
It's all
exactly. So
consciousness, really.
yeah, so you
Technology,
just
the medical technology is called radio frequency. That's what they're using to treat a lot of these, tumors, a lot of even in arthritis, if you have like calcium deposits between like vertebrates or this, instead of like now opening and actually
Yeah, that's what I
operating,
had done to my
they
shoulders.
use,
Yeah,
so.
that's ultrasonic frequency on my shoulder. I get like calcium in my shoulders. So I go for treatments to the physiotherapist. He's got one of those machines that is an ultrasonic transducer, basically, and puts it on my shoulders, and in 4 or 5 sessions, all the calcium's all broken up inside my shoulder, and my shoulder starts moving again.
Nice.
nice. But yeah, you can do the same with electromagnetic waves, like that's a cool thing. So yeah, man, it's like people need to stop being so such a victim and afraid,
so
and
pessimistic, right?
yeah,
Give hope
exactly,
to the world.
yeah.
Before we end, and so of course there was Royal Raymond Rife and Rife technology being and discussed in the chat there. And yes, Jarvis, great point with Rife's microscope, and it was a frequency based technology, if I'm not mistaken. Vernon, do you know much about that specifically, or have you heard of?
About frequency-based healing and technology,
Or specifically Royal Raymond Rife's microscope, frequency microscope?
I don't know a lot about the microscope, because it kind of it's taken on a feel. I believe that it's taken on an aspect of urban legend and mythical proportions. I don't know. I am a firm believer of dark field microscopy. My sister is is an expert at dark field microscopy, and we've been doing that for a lot of years. I am a firm believer in Royal Rife technology. My grandmother, she used to heal everything from cancer to lupus to whatever, and she did it using Rife frequencies, a square signal, a square
Wave generator.
square waveform signal generator, and minerals, bioavailable minerals. She would heal everything. I watched this one lady that flushed out fluke worms that were this big out of her intestines, and she collected them all out of the toilet in a jar, and these ginormous, all after 3 sessions with the deworming frequencies and bioavailable minerals. So I believe in that 100%. I think that that's really, really powerful. So yeah.
Right? It's like
function generator. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. I apologize.
And that's why I asked, because it's like it's an urban legend of that microscope, because it's a completely different type. But your dark mass spectrometry,
dark field microscopy, or a dark field microscope. So it's a different way of looking at the blood. It's also you can find it under live blood analysis, and so you can actually it's a way of diffracting the light that's coming into your view of a blood sample, so that it's illuminated a different way. You don't have to kill the blood in order to see it. You can see it live on the slide. You can see how it's interacting with the neutrophil cells. You can actually see how Hell, I've watched my
I want some pizza.
My tribal elder had a video of
I'm
his
online.
cancer, of his blood cancer, with the cancer sending out this little tendril, and it's going in, and it's attacking a neutrophil, one of the your immune system cells, and it's attacking it, and it breaks through the cell, and it goes in there, and then it kills the nucleus, and then the neutrophil, the immune system cell, looks like an immune system cell still, but it's being piloted by a cancer cell, and it's freaking insane, and you can see it all live using a dark field microscope. So it's pretty wild. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah,
and I just have a million different experiments that I want to see under one of those now, with different nanoparticles interacting with blood cells and seeing stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. And how, so let's say you were to take, like, I am not a big fan of alkalized water, because we've seen people who are drinking alkalized water, and their system, it looks their blood looks absolutely horrible. They go over and squeeze a lemon into a glass of water, drink that, and in 10 minutes their blood looks beautiful. Yeah, fun stuff. There's so many experiments you can do with a dark. And when my sister and I started working on this, I mean, these microscopes were like $30,000 a piece. They were a nightmare to maintain. Now you can buy it. Now you can buy for about $2 or $3 grand. You can buy one. You can look at it on your laptop. It's pretty amazing. So,
my God,
love technology.
No doubt. Need us one of them for sure.
Yeah, so you can look at, okay, well, if I'm taking this, what does it do to my biological condition? If I expose my blood to magnets, what happens? If I expose my blood to North Pole or South Pole magnets, what happens?
Not a whole lot. Like, I mean, there's barely any iron in your blood.
It doesn't matter about iron. It comes down to the paramagnetic, diamagnetic aspects of blood. And yes, North Pole magnets can destroy can heal blood cells, and South Pole magnets can stimulate them to the point where they break down.
If I may, hold on, hard stop. It's the South Pole. A negative pole makes negative ions make longer streamers. Positive ions make short streamers.
Interesting.
And it's why we say, the magnetic field is actually coming from the South Pole, which is going to flip. But that is, I don't know, year 3 of electrical engineering, hardcore physics knowledge, is understanding where the electrons are coming from. Electrons are negative. They want to fly away from the South Pole, a negative anode, and they will fly towards the positive cathode. If you get into electrical engineering, you understand that, but it's something that electrical engineers understand, but
that's
they don't.
Magnetic, not electric.
No, moving electric field creates a magnetic field. It's E cross B. When you're learning this stuff, magnetism is a response to moving electricity. And then in general relativity, they'll flip it around and be like, well, a moving magnetic field creates an electric field, and a moving electric field creates a magnetic field. But you just have to understand the electrons are coming off of matter, and they will move away from the South Pole, i.e. the negatively charged part of it. And then from there, you got to figure out curl. Use your right hand rule, and the gravitational force will respond, and the torsion in the local field will start using the left hand rule. Right. So anyway, keep going.
Okay. Hey guys, I have to beg your forgiveness. I need to bow out. My dogs are going nuts, and I need to let them out. It's been
no worries. And
we're gonna square.
No forgiveness. Thank you, sir. We are gracious for your attendance, and yes, Vernon, thank you. We got to schedule several more with more planning to go into each of these topics, because you are an absolute, I'd say, library of experience and knowledge with so much of the hydrogen.
Much honor. I I just have had a lot of fun and a lot of adventures. So thank you. All right, you guys take care. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thanks a lot.
Take it easy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.